good morning. So, ang topic natin today is simple interest. Here, we are going to define the simple interest. We are going to illustrate the simple interest and compute the interest maturity value from future value and present value in a simple interest environment. So, first, we are going to identify the simple interest. What is simple interest? Simple interest is charged only on the loan amount called the principal. So, yan po ang definition ng simple interest. Is charged only on the loan amount called the principal. So, the interest on the interest previous earned is not included. Simple interest is calculated by multiplying the principals by the rate interest by the number of payment periods in a year. Okay, I will going to give an example of how to illustrate the simple interest. This example. Early invested 100,000 to an account that pay a simple interest of 3%. 3% to 100. Ilan nga po yung in-invest ni Early? 100,000 na mayroong simple interest of 3% annually. So, pag annually, by year, find the interest after 2 years. Find the interest after 2 years. So, kung gagamitin ng annually, unahin natin ang year 1. So, the interest is equal to 100,000 times the 3% times 1 is equal to what? 3,000. So, sa isang taon, na interest ng 100,000, kung times natin sa 3%, is equal to 3,000. Sorry, 3,000. So, kung sa year 2, kasi nga, 2 taon, so the interest is equal to 100,000 times 3% times 1 is equal to what? 3,000. So, dito, sa 2 taon na ito, na sinasabi na ininvest ni Early na 100,000 sa 3% every annually, find the interest. So, in year 1, interest of 100,000, you are going to multiply by 3% is equal to 3,000 ang kanyang simple interest. Pagdating sa year 2, ang simple interest niya ay 100,000 also. May multiply natin by 3% is equal to 3,000. So, early investment earn a total of 6,000 after 2 years. After 2 years, notice from the above. Example, the interest earned in year 1 did not earn any interest. Hindi daw any interest na nag-earn ng kinuwang 100,000 ni Orly. An alternative computation approach is by multiplying 100,000, the principal, then you are going to multiply it by 3% rate by 2. Ibig sabihin by 2, this 1. So, imbis na 1 ang ating gagamitin, 2 kung gusto nyong alternative computation. Ganun po ang mangyayari nun. Okay. May mga formula na sinusunod tayo to get the simple interest. This one. Ano-ano yung mga formula niya? The simple interest, formula. Okay. The interest over the principal, the rate of the interest, and the time. Yan po. Una. So, the interest is equal to the principal times the rate of the interest times the time or the term of the in years or fraction of a year. Pwede natin i-rumble pa yan. Depende kung ano hinahanap natin. Paano naman kung ang principal ang ating hinahanap. So, this one. Kung principal ang hinahanap natin, so yung interest natin, i-divide lang natin sa rate of the interest times sa time. Kapag principal ang hinahanap. Kapag naman ang hinahanap natin ay rate is equal to the interest over the principal times the time or the term. Kung naman ang ating hinahanap ay yung time is equal to interest divided by the principal times the rate. Yan po ang ating gagamitin. Okay? Ano nga po yung I? The interest. Ano naman yung P? The principal. Ano naman yung R? Rate of interest. Ano naman yung T? The time. Or term. Term in year. Okay? So, pagdating naman sa maturity value amount, ang ating formula rito, yung A, o tinatawag natin the maturity value, symbol of maturity value, is equal to P or the principal plus the interest. Maturity value or tinatawag natin to na amount of balance. Amount of balance. Yung isa naman, pwede nating gamitin the maturity value is equal to the principal plus yung nakukuha nating principal doon sa taas. Ito yon. Ito times rate of the interest times the time. Or maybe, pwede natin gamitin din dito, the maturity value is equal to the principal times the interest plus the rate of the interest and also the time. So, yan po yun. Yan ang ating pwedeng gamitin to identify the simple interest formula. Kung paano naman kunin ang maturity value amount, the maturity value is equal to the principal plus the interest. Or, pwede natin gamitin the maturity value is equal to principal times yung magiging result natin dito sa taas, the principal, the rate, and the time. Or maybe, we can use the maturity value or amount of balance is equal to the principal times the interest plus the rate and the time or tinatawag natin term of the year. Okay? The principal loan is also called the face value. Yan po. Or the present value. Yan. The principal loan is also called the face value or the present value. Naiintindihan po ba ng lahat? Ulitin natin. The simple interest formula, the interest over the principal times the rate of the interest times the time or the term in a year. This one. The interest is equal to principal, the rate, and the time. Pagka principal na hinahanap natin, interest over rate over time. Pagka rate naman, interest over the principal and the time. Pag time na hinahanap natin, interest over the principal over rate. Okay? So, bibigyan ko kayo ng example sa susunod kong video. Okay guys? Balik tayo. How to get the simple interest. So, nung nakaraan, na-discuss ko sa inyo yung mga formula na kung paano kuhanin ang simple interest. Am I right? So, I will give you an example. Number 1. Teresa borrowed 120,000 from her uncle. If Teresa agreed to pay an 8% annual, 8% doon sa 120,000, annual interest po yun, rate. So, calculate the amount of interest she must pay if the loan period is in 1 year and 9 months. So, sabi daw dito, sa loob ng isang taon, ilan ba magiging amount na interest niya at ilan kung 9 months naman. So, unahin natin yung 1 year. So, this one, unahin natin 1 year. So, we are going to find the interest. So, ilan yung principal natin? The principal is equal to 120,000 120,000. Ilan yun ang magiging ano natin? Rate. Rate ay 8%. Tapos, ang T natin, yung time natin, within 1 year and 9 months. And 9 months. So, unahin natin yung 1 year. So, the simple interest, interest is equal to 120,000 times the 8%. So, 0.08 times within a year times 1 year. So, the answer is 9,600 pesos. Okay? So, ito ang babayaran niya sa loob ng isang taon. Ay kung 9 months naman. So, the interest is equal to 120,000 times 0.08 times 9 months. 9. Sa loob ng ilang months nga meron tayo? 12 yun, di ba? So, 9 months over 12. So, kalalabasan yan, ang magiging interest niyan ay meron tayong 7,200 pesos. Okay? So, another example in computing the simple interest. Paano naman kung ang hinahanap natin ay yung rate, kung ilang magiging percentage niya. Okay, example number 2. Example number 1 and number 2. Sa number 2 natin, to buy the school supplies for the coming school year, you get a summer job at a resort. Suppose you save 4,200 pesos of your salary and deposit it into an account that earns simple interest after 9 months. So, ilang months? 9 months. The balance is 4,263 pesos. So, ito naging balance mo after 9 months. What is the annual interest rate? Ano po yung pinaka-annual interest rate natin? Okay? We're going to use the formula. So, the rate is equal to the interest over the principal times the time, where P or the principal is equal to 4,200 pesos. Yan ang naging principal mo, no? Nung nagtrabaho ka. So, ang time natin dito, ilan? 9 months. And then, sa loob ng 9 months, meron tayong 12 months. So, magiging 9 over 12 or 3 over 4. Simplest form of 9 over 12 is 3 over 4. Okay. Tingnan natin kung ilan ang magiging rate mo dito. So, the interest natin nung after ng 9 months ay 4,263 pesos. Minus natin doon sa original interest natin na 4,200 pesos. So, ilan? Meron kang 63 pesos. Okay, so kung i-compute na natin, rate or that na rate of the interest is equal to the interest 63 over the 4,200 times the time 3 over 4. So yun yung interest natin na kinita na yung pera. I-divide natin ito sa original na kinikita natin o yun ay save mo na 4,200, itatimes mo naman siya sa 9 months or report na yun. Ito na yun, nangyari. Dito nang galing yun. Okay, so the answer is equal to 0.02 or 2%. So, ang annual interest rate natin doon sa savings mo ay meron ka lamang 2%. Is it clear? Okay. Bibigyan naman ako ng example dito kung paano gumawa ng time. Okay? So, time. Ano gumawa ng time? Supposed to be if 10,000 is invested at 4.5% simple interest, how long will it take to grow to 11,800 pesos? So, if 10,000 is invested at 4.5% simple interest, how long will it take to grow to 11,800 pesos? So, we are going to find here the time. Taon ba to? Months? Or weeks? Ganon? So, alamin natin. So, the original principal natin dito ay 10,000. Tama po ba? How about the rate? Meron tayong 4.5%. And for sure, kung i-convert natin to into percentage of decimal point or 0.045. And the interest, ilan? 11,800 pesos minus the original interest. Ilan yung original? 10,000 pesos is equal to ilan? Minus 1,800 pesos. So we are going to find now what is the time or the term of your interest. So time is equal to interest over the principal times the rate. Okay po ba? Okay. So time is equal to the original interest na nakuha natin. So 1,800 pesos divided by ilan yung pinaka-original natin na principal? 10,000. times ilang percent? Ilan ang rate natin ng interest? 0.045. So, yung 1,800 natin, i-divide natin kay 10,000 and 0.45. So, i-multiply muna, saka natin i-divide. So, the answer is 4. So, it will, how many years that it will take na nagkaroon siya ng ganong kataas na interest sa 4.5 interest percent? So, it will take 4 years. So, it will take for 4 years. So, naiintindihan po ba nila lahat? So, ganyan po kumuha ng, ng principal, the interest, the time, and also the rate. Is it clear? Okay. Okay guys, good morning. So, ang ating pag-aaralan ngayon ay ang compound interest. Okay, we are going to identify here the what is compound interest, and then we are going to illustrate the compound interest also. So, problems involving involving the compound interest. What is compound interest? This is what you call as the interest due at the end of a certain period is added to the principal, and that sum earns interest for the next period. Yan po ang tinatawag nating compound interest. So, ang yung interest bagay nung ang usapan nyo nung una, halimbawa, 1 year, pero hindi ka umabot sa isang loob na isang taon, so nag-extend ulit. So, yun na po ang compound interest. Bibigyan ko kayo ng mga example ng compounding periods. Okay? For example, identify the interest rate or compounding period and the number of compounding periods for each of the following. Okay, following investment. Ulitin ko. Identify the interest rate per compounding period and the number of compounding periods for each of the following investment. So magbibigay ako ng mga investment. So we are going to identify the interest rate per compounding periods and the number of compounding periods. Okay? Okay. Letter A. The 12% compounded monthly for 4 years. Sa loob ng 4 na taon. So, tingnan natin. What is your rate? With a 12%. And then, kung i-decimal point natin, 0.12. Anong equation pa natin? The periodic rate, what is the periodic rate? Is equal K is equal to 12 months per year. Yan. Then, meron tayong rate over 12 is equal to 0.12 over 12 is equal to 0.01. What is the number of compounding periods? So, the number of compounding periods is 12 unit at the time is equal to 12 times 4. Ilan yung time natin? 4 years is equal to 48. So, sa compounding periods natin, meron tayong 48. Letter B. Sa loob ng 12% compounded monthly for years, meron tayong 48. So, paano naman kung 10.02? I have 10.2% compounded quarterly for 9 years. For 9 quarters. So, 9 quarters po yan. So, magiging rate natin dito, ay 10.2%. So, magiging 0.102 and the compounding K is equal to ilang quarters meron tayo sa isang taon? Meron tayong 4 na quarters sa loob ng isang taon. Ayan. And then, ilang rate natin? Rate over the number of 4. So, is equal to 0.102, dito yung sa percentage, 102.2 divided by, so ilipat na lang natin to dito para mas madaling maintindihan. So, rate is equal to 4 is equal to 102 over 4 sa 4 na quarter. So, magiging 0.026. Yan. So, the number of compounding period is 9. Okay? So, yun po yun. 10.2% compounded quarterly for 9 quarters. So, ito na po yun, 9. Okay? Okay. So, bibigyan ko kayo ng ibang example pa. How to find the compounding interest. So, this one. Kung meron akong 320,000 is invested for 5 years at 8% compounded quarterly, find letter A, the, the compound amount. In letter B, we are going to find the compound interest. Okay? If 320,000 is invested for 5 years at 8% compounded quarterly, find the compound amount and find the compound interest. So, unahin muna natin to find the sa compounded amount. So, sa letter A solution, letter A, meron tayong rate na ilan? 8% or 0.08. And the number of 4. Okay? Kasi meron tayong 4 na quarterly. So, then rate is over 4 is equal to 0.08 over 4 is equal to 0.02. The number of compounding periods is 4 times the t, the time, is equal to 4 times 5 in 5 years is equal to what? 20. So, 20. So, it means, so kung gagamitin na natin yung pinaka-equation natin, so A is equal to the amount of maturity, the maturity value. A is equal to the principal times 1 plus the rate of the interest, then for quarterly, 40 is equal to 320,000 pesos times 1 plus 1.02. Ang galing yun. Ang galing ang 0. Ano na yan? Doon po yun, ang galing. Raised to 4 times 5. So, is equal to what? Is equal to 320,000 pesos times 1.02 raised to 20 is equal to what? Lahat-lahat, ilan na? Pinag-raise to 20 siya, so magiging 475,503.70. So, yan po ang magiging compounded compound amount niya doon sa sinasabing 320,000 mo na in-invest mo for 5 years at 8%. Ito na magiging compound amount niya for 5 years. What is the compound interest? Ilan yung magiging compound interest niya? So, sa compound interest niya, compound interest is equal to compound amount is equal to I minus the principal. Okay? So, ilan ang compounded niya? Amount niya? 475,503.17 minus 300 original investment mo is equal to 0.2 is equal to ilan? So, magiging 155,503.17. So, ito ang magiging compound interest. Okay? So, that's all. So, nag-gets nyo ang aking mga example regarding sa compound interest. Okay, guys. So, balik tayo. Ito si Sir Katoy para sa ating lesson na simple annuity. So, in this topic class, we are going to define first what is annuity payment, and we are going to identify the different types of annuity, also solve problems involving the consumer loan amortization. Naintindihan po ba? Okay. We are going to identify first what is simple annuity. So, if the payment of each period is fixed and the compound interest rate is fixed over a specified time, the payment is called annuity payments. Okay? Accounts associated with stream of annuity payments are called annuities. Okay. So, we're going to define the different kinds of annuity. First, what is annuity? So, annuity is a fixed sum of money paid to someone at regular intervals subject to fixed a compound interest rate. So, nulit ko, fixed sum of money paid to someone at regular intervals only. So, what is annuity certain? Annuity certain. Annuity certain, this one is a payable for a definite duration, begins and ends on a definite or fixed date, or tinatawag na natin na monthly payment of halimbawa car loan. Okay? Ito ko, payable for definite durations, begins and ends on definite or fixed date. So, pinaka-fixed date, o saktong date na binigay. So, tinatawag natin na monthly payment. So, alam niyo naman siguro po yon. What is annuity? Annuity uncertain. Annuity uncertain, it is annuity payable for an indefinite duration. Example, the insurance. Insurance, the dependent on some certain event. Okay? Annuity payable for indefinite duration. For example, uncertain is what you call as the insurance. Example, the insurance. the insurance. What is simple annuity? Ito na yun. Simple annuity, interest conversion or compounding period is equal or the same as the payment interval. Ulitin ko, interest conversion, or compounding period is equal or the same as the payment interval. Okay? Interest conversion or compounding period is equal or the same as the payment interval. Okay. So, pag ordinary naman, ordinary annuity, this one annuity which the periodic payment is made at the end of each payment interval. Ulitin ko, which is the periodic payment is made at the end of each payment interval. At the end, hindi katapusan. Annuity 2. So, bibigyan ko kayo ng definition. Definition ng annuity na lamang para mas parehas o kabisado nyo, mas maganda kung titingnan nyo na lamang. So, this one. Yan po ang different kinds of annuity. Okay? So, bibigyan ko kayo ng mga example ng simple annuity. So, determine if the given situation represent simple interest or annuity. Simple annuity pala. Sorry. Simple annuity or general annuity. Okay? Letter A, question. Determine if the given situation represents simple annuity or general annuity. Okay, letter A. Payments are made at the end of each month for a loan that charges 1.05% interest. Compounded quarter. Okay. Determine if the given situation represent a simple annuity or general annuity. So what is a simple annuity? Simple annuity, interest conversion or compounding period is equal or the same as the payment interval. What is general annuity? Interest conversion or compounding period is unequal or not the same as the payment interval. So this one example, payment are made at the end of each month for a loan that charge 1.05% interest compounded quarterly. So what kind of annuity is this? Simple annuity or general annuity? Okay. Since the payment solution, since the payment interval at the end of the month is not equal to the compounding interval. Quarterly, then the situation represent a general annuity. So it means, so this one is a general annuity. Tingnan nyo payments are made at the end of each month for a loan that charged at 1.05% interest compounded quarterly. So since the payment interval at the end of the month, tama po ba, is not equal to the compounding interval, so by interval and quarterly, the situation represent a general annuity. Okay? Next. Letter B. A deposit of 5,500 pesos was made at the end of every 3 months. 3 months to an account that earns 5.6% interest compounded quarterly. Okay. A deposit of 5,500 pesos was made at the end of every 3 months to an account that earns 5.6% interest compounded quarterly. So, quarterly yon. So, yun yung compounded interest niya na nakuha sa 5,500 natin. So, how can you identify whether it is a simple annuity or general annuity? Okay, this one, since the payment interval at the end of every 3 months, so since the payment interval at the end of every 3 months or quarterly is equal to the compounding interval or quarterly, so it means this situation represent a simple annuity. Okay? So this one. So mamaya, tutuloy natin yan about sa mga equation natin sa mga future value and present value. Okay guys, balik tayo sa lesson. Ang ating pag-aaralan naman ngayon ay ang future value of simple ordinary annuity. Simple value of annuity. Okay. So, unahin natin muna ang future. The future annuity, future value is an annuity. Annuity total is the total accumulation of the payments and interest earned. So, an annuity is the total accumulation of the payments and the interest earned. So, yun ang future value. How about the present value? Present value of our simple ordinary annuity is the principal. The principal that must be involved that be invested today to provide the regular payments of an annuity. So, yan po ang present value, the principal that must be invested today to provide the regular payments of an annuity. Okay. So, proceed tayo sa mga formula. Formula ng bawat simple ordinary annuity. Unahin natin yung future. Ito yung future value at yung kabila naman present value. The future value are tinatawag simple for FB. Yan. Of simple ordinary annuity is FB is equal to the principal times 1 plus the interest rate raised to the total number of conversion periods minus 1 over the interest. Yung FB natin, ito yung future value. Yung P, the periodic payment. Periodic payment. Yung I naman natin, interest rate per period. Interest rate per period. Where interest rate is equal to rate over the number of K. Tinatawag natin ito ay annual rate. Yung isa naman, number of conversation. Conversation periods in a year. Yan. Yung N naman, yung N, ito yung total number of conversation. Number of conversation. Where N is equal to T times K. T is equal to what? T is equal to number of years. Okay? So, yan ang future value. How about the present? The present value naman, magiging PB is equal to present value is equal to the periodic payment bracket 1 minus 1 plus the interest rate per period raised to negative n over the interest rate per year. Yung I natin dito, yung the interest rate per year, na kung saan R over K din tayo. Yung interest rate ito. Parehas halos sila ng future at ng present period. Okay? Ganon din. Ang hinahanap natin N, ganon din sa present value. So, ang pinagkaiba lang talaga nila is yung the equations. Yung formula. Bibigyan ko kayo ng example ng future at ng present value. For example ng future. If you pay 50 pesos, at the end, tayo example na future value. And end of each month for 40 years on account that pays interest at 10%. Okay. Interest ka, compounded po yan. Compounded monthly. How much money do you have after 40 years? Ulitin natin ang tanong. If you pay 50 pesos at the end of each month for 40 years on a amount that on a amount of a month on a account pala, sorry, that pays interest at 10% compounded monthly, how much money do you have after 40 years? So we are given, we're going to give the value. What is the periodic payment? Is equal to 50 pesos. And then the interest rate R over K tayo, so 10% over the 12 months is equal to 0.1 over 12. And N is equal to T times K is equal to 40. So, kukunin mo yung time times 40 years kasi yung ating total number of conversation periods eh. Yung pinaka-total natin is 40. Sabi daw kasi dito yan, in 40 years, kaya 40. So, times 12 months in 1 year, so it's equal to 480. To find the future value, we have FB is equal to P times 1 plus the interest rate per period minus 1 over the interest period. So is equal to 50. 1 plus 0.1 over 12, 480 minus 1 over 0.1 over 12. So the total of that is, for 40 years, makakaipon ka ng 316 pesos, 203.98. Ito yung magiging future value mo for 40 years. Okay? How about the present? Present value. Present value. Example of present value. In a present value, we have here an example of Vernon borrow money to buy a motorcycle. He will repay the loan by making monthly payments of 1,500 per month. Okay? Nagloan siya ng per how many, for the next 24 months at an interest rate of 9%, per year compounded monthly. So, may adjust yung tato ito ha. Mag-adjust tayo. How much did Fernan borrow and how much does Fernan pay? Yan. So Fernan borrows money to buy a motorcycle. He will repay a loan of making monthly payment of 1,500 per month for the next 24 months at an interest rate of 9% per year compounded monthly. How much did Fernan borrow and how much does Fernan pay? So first, so we are going to find the periodic time, what you call as the periodic payment is 1,500 pesos. The interest of R over K is equal to 9% daw over 12 months or 0.0075. So, ilan na months yun? So, N is equal to T, K is equal to 24 months. Or simply as 24 or N is equal to 24. So, the present value is equal to P 1 minus 1 plus the interest rate minus negative N over the interest rate per period. So, is equal to what? 1,500. 1 minus plus 0.0075 and then negative 24 in yung months. So divided by 0.0075. So ilan ang kanyang babayaran lahat-lahat? Is equal to 32,833.72. This one is how much did Fernan borrow from how? So 32,833.72 ang nahiram ni Fernan. So ilan ang magiging interest nito? So sa interest natin, we are going to use the given by using TMB. So, kung ilan ang percentage mo, multiply mo sa percentage na binigay kung ilan yung nahiram ni Fernan. So, yun lamang po. And then, thank you.